A few years ago, paleontologists examined a Tyrannosaurus rex skull known as Stan. At first glance, it looked like any other T-Rex fossil. Then they noticed something disturbing. Deep in the back of the skull were multiple puncture wounds. Not scratches, not cracks, bite marks. When scientists measured the spacing between those wounds, they discovered something chilling. The attacker wasn't another species. It was another T-Rex. Even stranger, the bone had healed, which meant Stan survived. Somewhere in the late Cretaceous, one Tyrannosaurus bit another Tyrannosaurus directly in the face. And that was only the beginning, because the fossil record reveals a world far more violent than most people imagine. A world of cannibalism, pack attacks, ancient rivalries, and predators that sometimes hunted their own kind. For decades, Tyrannosaurus rex was portrayed as the ultimate predator, the king of dinosaurs, the apex hunter. But fossils tell a stranger story. When researchers examined Tyrannosaurus skulls, they found the same pattern again and again. Puncture wounds, facial scars, broken bones, evidence of repeated attacks. One study documented hundreds of bite injuries across tyrannosaur fossils. The location of those wounds wasn't random. Most were concentrated around the face, the eyes, the jaw, the snout. It appears tyrannosaurs regularly bit one another directly in the head. Not to kill, to dominate, to establish hierarchy, to compete for territory, or mates. Imagine a world where arguments are settled using jaws powerful enough to crush bone. That was Tyrannosaur society. And sometimes those confrontations became even darker, because paleontologists have found tyrannosaur bones bearing feeding marks from other tyrannosaurs. Not battle wounds, feeding wounds. Evidence that after death, members of the species sometimes became food. The king of the dinosaurs occasionally ate its own kind. But tyrannosaurs weren't the only dinosaurs doing this. On the ancient island of Madagascar lived a predator called Majungasaurus. For years, scientists suspected dinosaur cannibalism. Majungasaurus provided the proof. Researchers discovered bones covered with tooth marks. Under magnification, the marks matched Majungasaurus' teeth perfectly. No other predator fit. The conclusion was unavoidable. Majungasaurus was eating Majungasaurus. Not once, not twice, repeatedly. The fossil evidence appeared again and again. This was not an accident. It was part of life. Madagascar at the time was harsh, dry, hot. Food was limited. And when survival becomes difficult, nature often abandons its rules. Even your own species can become a meal. Then came Colorado, a fossil site known as Mygot Moor Quarry. At first, scientists believed they had found a normal dinosaur graveyard, but something didn't add up. Thousands of bones and hundreds of bite marks. Predators had chewed nearly everything. Leg bones, ribs, vertebrae, even bones with almost no meat attached. The evidence suggested desperation. A severe drought may have devastated the region. Animals died. Water vanished. Food became scarce. And the predators began scavenging anything they could find, including each other. The fossil record preserves a brutal snapshot of survival at any cost. Most giant predators hunted alone. At least that's what scientists once believed. Then they found Mapusaurus. In Argentina, researchers uncovered multiple Mapusaurus skeletons together. Adults, juveniles, individuals of different ages, all in one location. The discovery suggested something remarkable. These giant predators may have lived and hunted in groups. And if that's true, their target was terrifying. Argentinosaurus, one of the largest land animals that ever existed. An adult Argentinosaurus weighed tens of tons, far too large for a single predator. But a coordinated group? That changes everything. Imagine multiple giant carnivores surrounding an animal the size of a moving building, attacking from different directions, overwhelming it through numbers. It was prehistoric pack hunting on a scale almost impossible to imagine. Perhaps the most famous fossil battle ever discovered comes from Mongolia. Two dinosaurs, locked together forever. One was a velociraptor, the other a protoceratops. Neither escaped. The velociraptor's claw remained embedded in its opponent. The protoceratops still gripped the raptor's arm, every detail preserved. A final struggle frozen for more than 70 million years. Scientists believe a sudden collapse of sand buried both animals during combat. Their last moments became a permanent record, a snapshot of prehistoric violence, perfectly preserved. Not every violent dinosaur was a predator. Some herbivores were just as dangerous. Triceratops carried 3 massive horns. Stegosaurus wielded spikes powerful enough to penetrate bone. Ankylosaurus swung a tail club capable of shattering limbs. Even Pachycephalosaurus may have spent much of its life smashing its reinforced skull into rivals. The fossil evidence is everywhere. Broken horns, damaged armor, healed fractures, ancient injuries. These weren't peaceful giants wandering through prehistoric landscapes. They were animals competing for territory, for mates, for survival, just like predators. When most people imagine dinosaurs, they picture monsters fighting monsters. The reality was stranger. These animals weren't villains. They weren't evil. They were survivors. And survival often demanded violence. The fossil record preserves only fragments of their world. A scar here, a bite mark there, a skeleton frozen in combat. Tiny clues scattered across millions of years. Yet together they reveal something remarkable. The Age of Dinosaurs wasn't simply a lost world. It was a world every bit as brutal, competitive, and unpredictable as nature today. The difference is that its monsters weighed 10 tons and carried teeth the size of knives.